fond memories here growing up in Dearborn. One of my favorite memories is going to what we now call the Dome Room at the Performing Arts Center, what I knew as the Civic Center. Actually, that's where I learned how to roller skate. One of my fondest memories growing up really in Dearborn is going to Camp Dearborn. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, because I think that it was very inexpensive to go there. You got to go there, spend the whole day. We went camping a lot. We spent a lot of time in the tents. That's where I learned how to swim, how to fish. I met a lot of my friends in camp. We sat around the campfires. We went to the canteen. I remember when I was younger, I wasn't able to go to the canteen without my parents, and I really felt that there was this coming of age when my parents would allow my friends and I to go to the canteen on our own and watch everyone dance, eat ice cream. So that definitely is one of my fondest memories, aside from roller skating at the Civic Center. And the best thing that I tell my husband that I could do for my kids is make sure that they have that Camp Dearborn experience. When I was a student at Salina, there were a number of teachers that I think really shaped who I am today. One teacher in particular was my third grade teacher, and her name was Miss Muldowney first, and she married when I was in her class, and she became Mrs. Bristol. She made me feel special, and I think that made a difference for me. I was one of the first group of kids that was bused from the South End to Stout Middle School and Etzel Ford High School. I remember when the decision was made for students to be bused over to Stout and Etzel Ford High School. There were parents that were concerned. Obviously, the majority of students in the south end of Dearborn or coming from Salina were of Middle Eastern descent. And so being bused over to the west end, there was that concern of, are there going to be any issues? Is the integration going to work well? And as students, we heard that and we sensed that. That first year we went there, I think that the staff or the administration really went out of their way to make sure that there was a lot of dialogue from the different elementary or grade schools that were meshing together in middle school, so that we got to know our peers. I remember the first day I came back from school, I had met two female students, very nice, very sweet, one of which was my pen pal when I was at Salina. And I think they started that dialogue so that we could have someone to connect with when we did transfer over to Stout. And so when I came home that day, I remember it was a really nice, still like a summer warm day, even though it was in September. And I told my mom, oh my God, I met so-and-so and she really liked me, and she, and I hit it off with her, and I was really excited. And I think all the hesitation that I had before then really just disappeared. At Etzel Ford, I had my debate teacher, Mr. Maychek. And in his debate class, he really taught me how to channel that passion and those feelings that I felt about something, or those opinions, into persuasive argument or debate, which really has helped me into the attorney that I am today. I definitely felt that I had a very strong educational background graduating from Dearborn Public Schools. So definitely I felt prepared. I graduated from Etzel Ford High School and I started at U of M Dearborn, and I had applied to Wayne State, got accepted there. College was highly encouraged. In fact, it wasn't a choice. I mean, my parents knew that you are going to college. So that public service, I guess, was put on hold for some time. But when I graduated law school, I started working, and I saw that as an attorney, I was also able to really be a voice, I guess, for, I hate to say the voiceless, but people that maybe needed help. And I thought, well, if I could do it here, and I know I have good intentions, why not do it on a larger scale? And why not represent my fellow residents or my hometown? I have a very strong connection to Dearborn, and I just felt that that's where I really wanted to remain and be. And what better way to be part of the community than to be involved in public service? What I've learned about the process of city government and the way it affects the daily lives of our residents, myself included, my children, my mom, my dad, my grandparents who all live here in the city, I just find it inspiring, because I know that we can make a difference. I know that if your heart is in the right place, if you mean well, and if you want good things, and you believe that we're capable of doing good, then you can do it. It's possible. My mom was a stay-at-home mom. She was the glue at home. I definitely think that if my mom can go back, she would definitely go back and go to college. Definitely growing up and even now as an adult, my hero and I think for every little girl is my dad. And the reason though I say that is my dad immigrated to the United States from Lebanon back in the very early 70s. He was a young husband and starting his family. He was in college and in school, and then he had, my parents had my brother. 2 years later, they had me. And I still remember my dad was in college when I was growing up, but it was a struggle. And I remember he came to a point where he had to drop out of college. And to me, I don't know, it always makes me emotional because I think that everything that he did for us, he put such emphasis on my siblings and I to finish college because he wasn't able to. And the sacrifices he and my mom had to make really brings so much value to everything that I do today.